Okay.
So, all right. I guess we're just like down to like the main, what I would argue is like the main cast because they all were prevalent for most of the game.
Do you want to just, how do you want to start it?
Let's start with, let's go with the easy ones, the ones that I think that we're going to agree on pretty fast. Mm-hmm. Hiro.
All right.
He's funny for sure.
He is probably the dumbest character, but I think he's hysterical every time. And this doesn't have any factor to it, but we watched the D3 animes, and I cracked up every scene he was in outside the freaking building. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. We still quote the, well, I'm only 20, or what is it, 30%?
30% right.
30% right on everything we do.
He's very memeable.
He is very memeable. So that's, I would say, that is the like character redeeming quality of Hiro. I wanted to murder him every damn class trial because he always goes, well, maybe a ghost did it.
Oh my God. Yeah, like he single-handedly, I mean that class trial in particular, he single-handedly made that take twice as long as it should have.
Yep.
That was just absurd. That was like, there's padding in a game and then there's maybe a ghost killed this person.
So if I have to just think about like Danganronpa 1 and all the other shit outside of here, he might be a D. Only because I swear when I think about us going through those trials, how many times I wanted to like flip table out because he derailed it so many times for such a stupid thing that I'm like, I want to murder you myself. You did it. It's you. Just murder him. I'll go with him. Just be done with this.
I was almost leaning towards C. We do have one more C spot, and I'm looking at what we have left, and I'm like, I think those people are all going to be above C.
I could see one still a D.
I see one other one that I think is going to be a D. So that's why I'm like, I enjoy Hiro more than that other person.
Try it.
We might have to reshuffle. I'm going to put him at the end of the C.
Okay.
Here's the thing that put him over for me is the scene about the hamburger and the aliens.
Oh, yes.
Was hysterical. So yeah, that for me, I can take him from a D up to a C. This is what I was afraid of though, that there's like so many characters that are like, I could probably argue this whole like C list. I could convince myself to go either way on those. Like up or down.
We're probably gonna have to move them down.
We're gonna have to probably reshuffle. All right, I'm gonna say the other one that I think is gonna be easy.
Toko. So we split up. We did split up Genocide, Jack, and Toko because we truly feel they are two separate conversations.
Yeah, they're two different people.
I literally wanted to punch Toko most of the game. Yeah. Mostly because she just has that really annoying, like, subservient personality that, like, drools all over something and follows it on like a lost puppy. I will have to say, however, her and Byakuya are hysterical together. That was like the redeeming thing was like her and like her interactions with Byakuya, like when they actually were interacting was funny versus like when she's talking about him and he's not there. It's like, come on. Yeah, just shut up. Like, please stop talking. I also felt like she wasn't, and I could be misremembering, I feel like she wasn't very useful in class trials, and it's like, of course she would make it till the end. You know, so she definitely like wore on my patience more than probably any other character. I'm going to give a side note, and this has nothing to do with my opinion, but I just have to say, she's the only redeeming quality in Despair Girls, in my opinion. Yes. Only because of her and Byakuya's stupid shit that went on in that game. I loved it. Yeah, I felt like when we were counting on Toko and Nagito to lift the story up, we were in some trouble with that game. So, but in this game, I think she's a D. I think so. I think she just was a rug that got walked all over, that every time she opened her mouth, though, it was either like pissy or mean or derogatory, or she was pining after Byakuya and then like did her whole like swooning bit every time you called her like a derogatory name. So I was gonna say pig, but that wasn't until Ultra Despair Girls. Yes. Would you say above or below Leon? Above Leon. I would. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wait. Nope. There we go. Okay. Do you want to just go Genocide Jill? Yeah. While we're on the subject of Toko. Okay. I have to say she was my favorite voice because she got to be wild and crazy, and she said whatever she wanted.
Yeah.
And
she had like so many cool nicknames for characters.
Yes. God, I loved them all. Like all the nicknames were just fantastic. I'm trying to think of one of them. I can't even think of one.
TikTok.
That was it.
TikTok and Cherry.
I love the nicknames.
Shoot, what was Makoto? I don't remember.
But I just loved like every time she got pissy, she pulled out her little scissors and she's like, I'm just gonna cut you guys. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I thought she was a real interesting like add to Toko's personality of this like split personality disorder. I also liked, we didn't talk about with Toko, about how Genocide Jack came out, which was the sneezing or the...
Yeah, or when she passed out, like due to blood, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which is hysterical that she's afraid of blood and this thing's like, let me go bathe in someone's blood. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of maybe why she came about, is it was a coping mechanism for those types of things.
Yeah, so I think I really liked her because she was so wild and crazy.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what she was going to say or do. And she just added so much to Trials whenever she finally came out.
Yeah.
She like...
It made it funny, and like very rarely did I feel like she set us back.
Yep.
And if she did, it wasn't so bad that it sticks out in my mind the way that like Hiro and Toko do.
Yep, I agree.
I'm leaning towards A.
I'm in an A.
I'm leaning towards the end of A.
I could go after Celeste. Depends on who goes in that spot. I might put her
above who.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's then go probably the other one that could potentially be an A or B, Aoi.
I have to keep out the donut stuff. Outside of this. But I will say there was a lot of donut things within the game. I thought she was funny because of the super fit like swimmer girl was just like donuts. I love donuts. Like give me all the donuts. And you just don't expect that out of such a like fit looking health conscious kind of person, which is kind of cool because we make stereotypes. Like our brains pick stereotypes. And I was already like health chick. This is the way it goes. And she's like donuts. I want donuts, which made me want donuts. Thanks, Aoi.
Yeah.
I also really liked when Sakura was around, her and Sakura's friendship.
Yeah, I thought she had a lot of good, I thought she had a lot of good character development. I thought she did kind of hold us back at trials at times. She wasn't one who was usually contributing. In fact, I mean, in the fourth trial, she was actively working against us to the point where, like, I mean, I thought she might be the killer. My two theories was it was Aoi or Sakura killed herself, you know, and she like basically did her best to muddy that line. So like in that trial, she was actively working against you. I feel like in other trials, she was like inadvertently working against you.
It's funny how I kept the faith through that trial. I really thought Sakura killed herself. So I kept going, nope, you know, and then if at the end of the day, if Aoi like totally played us, man, I was just gonna be like, that was pretty good because I was all about the suicide angle.
Well, I thought she had done it so that Sakura wouldn't have to commit suicide was the angle I was coming in at. Like, I didn't think she would do it out of malice. I didn't think that she was like, oh, I need to get myself out of here. I thought that like either Sakura had told her like, all right, you know, kill me and you can get yourself out of here sort of thing. Like, no, I don't want this to go on anymore. Or it was that Aoi recognized what Sakura was planning to do and didn't want her to have to go through that. Those were the two angles that I had. And I think the fact that I was thinking about it that deeply really says a lot about her character.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think because she got to, I think if this had been like chapter 2, I'd probably be looking at Aoi as like a C. But because at that point we had like gotten to know Sakura, we had gotten to know Aoi, I'd probably put her higher. I'm between A or a B.
I was gonna put her at an A. I would put her between Sakura and Celeste.
Really?
Yes. Because I think, like you said, towards the end, she had a lot of redeeming things that helped us.
Interesting. I don't know. I like, and this could just be my own personal bias. I think I liked Celeste better. Aoi, Hina might be the more interesting character, which kills me. I might have to concede that one. I'm not happy about it.
Got one.
You got one. You'll probably get your other one too, because I've been debating that one in my head pretty much all morning. But anyway,
Well, what do you want to talk about next?
Here's the thing. I mean, we all know pretty much where they're going to go, like what tier they're going to go into. It's just what order. And I didn't really plan for it to be like that, but it just worked out that way. I think when we saved all the living characters till the end, it was bound to happen.
Because they're all our favorites.
Because they're the characters that you're going to go most attached to.
Let's talk about Byakuya. Because I want to talk about the fact that I hated him to death at the beginning. He was this pompous, arrogant, multi-millionaire jackass that was like, ugh. Like, you do what you want. I'm going to go read and drink tea in the library. Like, fuck you guys.
If he had died in chapter 2, if he had been the murderer, he'd be a D. He absolutely would have been a D. I thought he was obnoxious. I hated doing his voice. There was like a rage quit moment when we were doing chapter 2 of that game because it was just Makoto and Byakuya, and I'm like, oh my god, what did I do to myself?
Yes.
That was like
they were tag teaming. But besides your voice,
that's not really relevant to him as a character.
The voice of reason and became almost quote unquote sort of like your intelligent sidekick in a way.
Yeah.
Where he came out and was like, shut the bullshit. Like, this is what's going on. Like, why are you bringing up ghosts? Like, shut up. Kind of thing. And he got people to actually listen to him and command. Like, he had a commanding presence that required people to actually notice. Where sometimes I feel like with Makoto, it's like, excuse me, I think you guys are all
have a thing to say.
Marking down the wrong path. And you got Byakuya stands up and goes, guys,
like,
no,
what is,
stop.
Like when
you guys are idiots.
When they were doing the whole like, oh, is Kyoko a ghost? And we finally go through all the proof that she is not a ghost, and we're like, okay. And Hero's like, oh, I guess she wasn't a ghost, and he's just like, which should have been obvious from the beginning. Sort of thing.
So I really loved him by the end of the game. Like
he would have been a C or D if he had died early. Yeah. But as a result, like of him make it to the end, like by the end, I really liked him because he was that voice. He's the thing that kept things on track. You needed those people. Yeah.
And I really appreciate him like outside of this game too. Like all the other stuff that happens too.
Like I remember being so psyched in Danganronpa 2. I'm like, oh, Byakuya. I don't know why he's fat, but there's Byakuya. Oh, that's not Byakuya.
Yeah, that was a cool twist. So he is definitely an S for me.
Yeah, I would definitely.
It just depends on the scale where we put him, but he's definitely an S for me.
I would put him in S. Okay.
Let's go with Junko. I think she was fun because it was interesting, kind of hard because I had to change her voice for every one of her personalities, which was difficult to remember which one was which because she had so many different profiles of what went with.
Well, I don't think you had to deal with it in that game because it was all. I swear all of that part was voice acted.
No, there was parts of it that weren't.
All right, I might be misremembering, but the idea that you have the ultimate fashionista who is also this ultimate despair that managed to ruin humanity and civilization as we know it.
And she's like such a delightful personality.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, it wasn't until towards the end of chapter 4, I'm like, I going back and watching like the earlier chapters, I was like, something's not right. And then in chapter 5, I'm like, something is really not right. And then I think it was chapter 6 where I was finally like, I don't think Junko's dead. And I couldn't place what exactly or why, but there was
I kept making the statement that the hand that was crispy, that was Mukura's, I said, it's Junko's hand. Like, it was Junko's hand. So I kept questioning whether or not Junko was dead, too, based on the fact that I'm like, that's Junko's hand. Like, we saw her die.
It was
like,
painted.
how the frick did she come back to life and blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah.
So that was, I would say, as plot twists go, like, good job, Danganronpa, for making this, like, cute, spunky blonde that you would never have expected, because A, she's dead.
Yeah.
To be the killer. So you keep going, what the hell is going on? Like, what are you missing? Like, you try, and then like Matrik said, where you start going back and looking at the chapters and you're like, there were signs.
Oh yeah, they were so good. I mean, you could say about all the games, they're so good about like almost leaving the whole plot out in plain sight and you don't even know you're looking at it. And I think it's why these games are so amazing.
Yep.
Which is a completely separate conversation. Well,
Correct.
Don't worry. We will sit and talk about what we loved about Danganronpa 1 and all that stuff later. But characters. I would put her as an S. Absolutely.
She has to be an S because she's just like, mastermind, batshit crazy, kills people for the hell of it, gets people to follow her. Her freaking twin sister followed her to her death. And she just like was a believable psychopath.
Yeah, that was a thing. It didn't feel forced. So I definitely appreciated that. So yeah, I would put her as an S. Would you say above or below Byakuya?
Below.
Really?
I really liked Byakuya. Like
I do too.
He's like my top 3. I don't know if he would be 2, but he might be.
He would. He would make my top 5. I think.
I really like him.
Man, I would have a hard time doing a top 5.
I think he'd be my 2.
I would have a hard time doing a top 5 even of this game, let alone the whole series. It would be.
He'd blow his brains out. It's
true. You would just see sparks coming out of the ears. So, at which point I'd have to admit that I'm actually a cyborg. All right.
We can debate it later too.
Okay, we'll come back. Here's our big debate is coming up.
I know. Do you want to go Monokuma?
Yeah, we'll go Monokuma.
Monokuma.
We decided not to do Monokuma because like. He's the mascot for the whole series. He's clearly an S. I would have to break my rule of putting
I think
more
out
than 4
of
characters.
evil, I don't even know what you'd call this.
Like evil mascot?
Yeah. He's like the best. Like he's just like, I'm a cheerful, lovable bear. Like Winnie the Pooh, but only evil.
Yeah. That's actually, he is the evil Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, pretty much. And I love all his antics, and it's not forced. It's very casual. I just love him when he's doing his announcements with his drink in his hand.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the whole like, don't let the bed bugs bite. It's just like, I care about you guys because I don't want you guys to get eaten by bugs because I want you to kill yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, very focused. So yeah, I mean, and technically Monokuma and Junko are the same person, so we'll just put those two. Yeah, there you go. For anyone who's upset that we don't have Monokuma, there's Monokuma just with Junko.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to talk? Let's talk Makoto first.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. So here's the thing about Makoto. Wait, no, maybe I want to talk about Kyoko. Yeah, let's talk Kyoko first. So Kyoko is like basically the glue for this whole game. She basically is the thing that makes it work. She's the ultimate detective. So it's like, my God, if you didn't have her and her deducing skills, you were screwed. You would have been dead at trial 1. Like Makoto would be dead at trial 1. Yeah, because every time he's like, I don't know what's going on, she's just like, look at the facts, go back and think about this. Did you not notice the door was Jimmy? Did you not notice this? Maybe you should check this out. It's just like she was like leading the blind the whole way. And just like the whole chapter 5 where he trusted her at the trial. Yeah, well, that was a choice, but if you don't, then... Well, the game ends. Yeah. So you trust her, and then... Which I don't think we ever went back and did that ending. So we got ourselves killed, technically. Yeah. But got saved. Thank God. Thank you, alter ego. But it's just, you had to go through all these things with her during the game to get to that point to be like, I trust this woman. And that's where the game, slips you up, too, because if you didn't, like... Yeah, like, because you obviously had a reason to think that, like, did she do it? Yeah, like, she could have. She could have. You couldn't really rule it out. As much as you're like, I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do that. Like, at that point, not knowing who she was, you felt like they couldn't. Mm-hmm. Which is funny. That's why I think when it came to Byakuya, why they killed him why they killed him off so early in Danganronpa 2, because they probably saw a bunch of people saying like, oh, they wouldn't have killed Kyoko early because you didn't know anything about her, and they're like, hold my beer. Yep, pretty much. He's king of like, oh, this character's got plot protection. Yeah, plot armor. We've seen how that goes. Go watch our videos. Plot armor. It holds up very well in the first game. Less so in the second, and not at all in the third. He sold himself down the river in the first 5 hours. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm still pissed about that. But anyways, moving on. Wrong game. Kyoko is my number 1 favorite character, hands down. She is. Again, I just love that she was such a calm presence. She had such a strong demeanor, and she pretty much was like, trying to investigate. What was going on, that something else was going on. And she had all these things running in the background
that you didn't know about that she was trying to do, the thing with alter ego, like all these other things.
Yeah.
You know, trying to find creative ways to get us all out.
Yep. I definitely agree. She's an S. Like when we do, like if I were to think of my top 3 favorite characters, she's still up there. She's definitely like in that list for sure. That's why that makes that number 3 spot like so coveted. I could throw, if you were to ask me on any different day, I'd probably give you a different answer.
I know.
But my number 1 and 2 would always be the same. So yeah, I would put Kyoko up there. I'd put her towards the top.
Okay.
Okay, so Makoto. Like Makoto was my favorite character personally because he like, you know, as I'm narrating this, as we're going through the Let's Play, it's like I'm seeing the world through his eyes, like basically I am him, he is me sort of thing. And I, you know, like he wasn't like so super smart as like Kyoko, like, but he was still smart enough to be believable.
I think where my thing with Makoto is he ran with the big guys. He's like, hi, I won the lottery.
Yeah.
My legit skill is I won a lottery to get in here. So, hi, I'm here to help you guys. Sure. And you're with all these ultimate people. And it's like hard not to feel overwhelmed by their presence.
Yeah.
And for him to be this small little dude in this big sea, to be able to have a commanding presence at these...
At the trials? Yeah, for sure.
Was kind of a big to do, in my opinion.
I think so too. I know a lot of people don't like him and are probably like, if they were to do a tier list, would probably like put him at a D. I'm like, I very much disagree. Like I get that he's like average amongst a group of characters who are like inherently interesting because they're the best at what they do. But like you said, I think the fact that he isn't really an ultimate, you know, he doesn't have this like great skill, but he still manages to like fit in with these guys and like is able to like hold his own with them. Like, I think that's huge. You know, I do think they left him a little bit of a blank slate and I think that was to make it so that as you're playing, you can kind of like put yourself in his shoes. You can kind of like fill in those blanks yourself. So I feel like if you went that route, then you probably enjoyed his character more. If you just looked at what was there, then probably not so much. And I think when it comes to where to put him on this list, I can't put him as number 1. For the reason of he on his own is not a complete character. Mm-hmm. They do intend for you to kind of fill in those blanks, at least in my opinion. Right. I think that was the goal. So I couldn't put him at number 1 for that reason. But he's like your eyes, ears, everything for that whole experience. I think there's something to be said for that. I also think, again, just his ability to come in and do what needs to be done when all these people with these great skills, they couldn't do it. I mean, Hero it conceivably was selected because of his skill. He didn't do crap.
Yeah, there's nothing clairvoyant about him.
No. And when did being the best, like in a biker gang, help anyone out? It didn't. I mean, in some cases, it actually made things worse. You know, not to pick on just like Mondo or Hero, but I'm just saying, like, you know, Makoto did more to get everyone out of that situation than a lot of these other characters. Yep. So that's why I would still put him high up. I just couldn't put him as number 1. Mm-hmm. Really, the only thing in my mind is he better than Byakuya? I say I enjoy his character more than Byakuya.
I might fight you on it.
You might oh, all right, here we go.
I actually like Byakuya more because of the fact that I think I wanted to punch him in the face at the beginning.
By the end, around.
To me, like, he was the smart person that you needed. Sometimes Makoto was not pretty bright about some of these things too. And again, it comes down to he's part of a large freaking corporation and was probably half running his parents' businesses.
He was running his own businesses.
Yeah, like, and they're what, like 16 or whatever? So he has all that like street smart knowledge, blah, blah, blah. So there's that piece. I just feel like Makoto is a little gullible at times.
I think he wanted to trust people. I think he was willing. Here's the difference between him and Byakuya is I think Makoto was willing to get burned. Like, I don't think he went into these situations thinking like, oh, there's no chance this could ever backfire. I think he went into it with the like, maybe it could backfire, but I'm choosing to trust in these people anyway. Like, I don't think it was him thinking it couldn't happen. Right. Just he was hopeful that it wouldn't.
I'll give you my disclosure. My top 3 is Kyoko, Byakuya, Makoto.
I would probably go, if you were to ask me today, like are we talking favorite or you were talking this list?
Whatever you want to do.
If we're going at this list, I would probably go Kyoko, Makoto, Byakuya.
I might give it to you because I really thought me and you were going to fight for number 1. I really thought it was going to be between Makoto and Kyoko, and me and him were going to duke it out.
Yeah,
I might concede and give you number 2.
And that was one thing that I thought about a lot once we decided, like, okay, today's the day we're going to do this. Is I sat there and thought about it, and I'm like, I don't know, like, what's the argument for Makoto being a number 1? What's the argument against? And when I started weighing those together, it's like, I don't know that I can justify him being the number 1 spot. I realize, like, Kyoko and Makoto at like 1 and 2 just in general is probably like maybe the boring choice, but I think there's a reason a lot of these like common and like choices are so common. And
so now we're gonna run into an issue because now you have 5 on your S row.
No, those together. Monokuma and Junko are just one character.
Oh, did you change your rule?
No, I said they're one character. I said I'm putting it up there for people who were upset that we didn't include Monokuma.
We changed this.
I did. He's only up there. He's only up there so that we can say we put him up there.
Okay.
I mean, really, I could like drag Monokuma down there, drag Toko down, or Genocide Jack down there, just to make it nice and pretty.
I don't know. I might put Monokuma over Junko.
Yeah, that's true. Well, because you do see Monokuma more.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'm gonna say I'm happy with this.
I think it turned out good.
I knew our D's were going to be the same.
Yeah, I was curious where Hero was going to end up because I originally, in my mind, I'm like, when I'm thinking like, okay, we're only going to have so many per tier. Yeah, Hero's going to end up down there. Hifumi's going to end up down at the bottom. Same thing with Toko and Leon. I didn't think we're going to be very high. I wasn't sure about Sayaka and Mukuro. In fact, initially when we started this, I thought Mukuro, I was going to be leaning more towards like a D. But as we started talking about it, I kind of changed my mind. I'm like,
there's
I think she's
too much backstory with her in the game for me to make her a D.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, she's still part of the whole like crazy Junko like set all this shit up thing. Because think about it. She either came up on the fly to kill her, or she determined it because she wanted to use her body later. It
sounded like it was a spur of the moment thing.
Well, so. I mean, she never told Mukuro that she was going to, but I'm just saying, I wonder if she came up with a plot in her mind of, I'm going to kill my sister and then I'm going to use the body later.
No, I don't know about using the body later, but she did like come out and say that she was like, I needed to get her out of there.
Yeah. But I think that was a predetermined thing, though, that it's not like she thought about it for weeks and years, but it was like in the moment, she's just like, this makes a lot of sense.
Right. So, yeah. All right. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. There really weren't too many surprises for me.
I'm really happy we have Mondo and Taka next to each other.
Yeah, that wasn't even intentional.
And Hina and Sakura.
Yeah.
See?
I don't know. If we hadn't argued it, I probably would have swapped Celeste and Hina. But it might come down to the fact that just I really enjoy Celeste's character design and her super calm personality with the like crazy.
Yeah, when she lost her shit, she lost her shit.
Yeah, that was pretty great. All right, so there's our list. Let us know what you think in the comments. What would your list be? I think maybe I'll link this in there.
Yeah.
And like send us your list either on like Twitter or. I think probably Twitter is easiest, or just post it in the comments.
In the YouTube comments. Yeah, because I'd like to know, because, it's subjective.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I meant to do that disclaimer when we started. They're like, yes, this is a subjective list. So, like, there's no...
It's our opinions.
Yeah, we try... I mean, I try to, like, my best to rationalize why it is, but it's still all subjective. I'm sure someone could come up with an argument as to why Leon is the best character in the whole game.
Sure.
Like... If Leon is your favorite character in the whole game,
please debate it. I want to know.
Yeah, let us know what is the case for Leon.
But I think it was nice to go back through and reminisce about like each of the characters and what they did and what their contributions were and their highlights and their lowlights. I think it was a good trip down memory lane today.
It was. And I'm going to apologize probably in advance because there's probably going to be an awkward cut. This will probably get cut into 2 episodes. So sorry the first one ended abruptly. We didn't know. I was looking at it I'm like, we might get through this in a half hour. No.
You should have known better with our amount of knowledge and ability to feel for these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we finished this game a year and a half ago, and I still have strong feelings about it.
Oh, for sure. This is a game. One question I've asked people a lot, in streams, is if there's any game you could go back and play again for the first time, lose all knowledge that you had of it and just play it over again for the first time, what would it be? First would be Doki Doki Literature Club. I'm sorry. That.
I've heard that one a lot too.
The first time experience for that game is incredible. This would be a very close second because maybe less so with the other games, but this game, before you know that humanity is destroyed and all this other stuff's going on, it is so overwhelming trying to figure out what is going on.
Right.
All right. Before we gush endlessly about how great this game is,
keep going for another half hour, and then he'll have to make another awkward pause.
Yeah, there'll be another just weird cut. Why did they stop mid-sentence?
Why are they going on a tangent that had nothing to do with what they were doing? Yeah. That's really it.
It's what we do. So yeah, let us know what your list would be. What changes would you make? We would definitely love to hear it. So let us know in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.